Hey everybody, this is This Week with the Roses. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Kelly, and today is the Sunday, September 26th edition of This Week with the Roses.
That's us.
All the way till Sunday we made it this week. We did better last week. We got it done a little earlier, but we have a few extra hours together this week.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I took off early. I had a couple things I had to do. We were closing up the pool, and it's kind of a stressful time, and that's going to play into the theme of this episode because there's just a lot involved with it. And normally in the past, your dad's been the biggest lead on that.
Dad is the lead on the pool, and that's just
not a thing now.
He can't physically get around it. I mean, he could, but we don't want him to.
Yeah. So we've had this, and it's hard for me and Mike to do stuff because we both work, but our days off are different. Like I got Wednesdays and Thursdays off, and he's got either Friday and Saturday, or Friday and Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday, depending on the week.
No one ever has a day off except for Mom and Dad with you.
Yeah.
So anyway, pool got covered last night after Kevin got off of work, and then today he had put in for half a day. So he went out with Dad and winterized the filter and
messed with
got the area cleaned up, and all the floaties deflated and put away. And we didn't use the pool that much this summer. It was either too hot to be outside,
or it rained a lot this summer.
Yeah, it did rain a lot.
So next year we'll have to. I don't know.
Maybe that's why. This week's topic is stress. And I'm going to add anxiety. Kevin doesn't really have anxiety, but I do. And so that's going to be the topic of our week because it has been, for me, a very anxiety-filled week. So the pool was way least on my list of things to be stressful about because I am not involved in that at all.
Yeah.
But probably Kevin's most stressful thing of the week.
Yeah, and even then it wasn't all that. Getting the actual cover on, once we got down to doing it, it went pretty quick. We had to get a new cord because part of the cover in the pool is you got to put a cord through the top, the cover, and cinch it into place.
Just kind of get it around tight so nothing gets in there.
Right. Inevitably, when you get a cord, you're having to cut it every year to get it undone. So it gets to a point where you have to replace them. So it's kind of interesting dealing with a new cord. You don't have to do that all the time, but it's, just something.
But they got it done. I'm glad that's one thing Dad doesn't have to worry about anymore.
Yeah.
And we don't have to worry about anymore. So we're on to the next thing to worry about.
There we go.
So I don't know what the next thing is. The washing machine got here. Of course, did not happen without a glitch. The hose wasn't long enough.
Well, the reason behind that, the way the room is laid out, where the laundry room is laid out, the wash and dryer should be reverse. Mm-hmm. But because of the dryer that we replaced several years ago didn't fit.
It's bigger. It's too big. We got to be really careful about the size.
Yeah. The door to the room, which also doubles as a bathroom, wouldn't close with the dryer where the dryer should be. So we had to switch them. And because of that,
the hose wasn't long enough to
reach the
new washing machine. And the old hose didn't fit the new washing machine.
Yeah.
So they left that to Dad and Kevin to figure out. So Dad got back there, I guess, and hooked the hose up.
Oh, your dad was a rock star there. That was done while I was at work.
And then you tested it. We made sure it didn't leak, which it doesn't.
Yeah. Which your mom got a little bit of revenge on me. So you aunts are going to love this one. I usually pull little pranks on my mother-in-law, which causes her stress. But, I'll do the whole, I'm tossing something at her, but I'm not really tossing it at her. Or, just little pranks or whatever. Well, I'm sitting there doing the wash machine. I'm turning it on. And she says, "Oh, my God, it's leaking." And I'm like, what? And it wasn't. She's just messing with me. She's laughing about it.
Meanwhile, I'm FaceTiming them. I'm at school. Thankfully, my kids were – obviously, I wouldn't have been FaceTiming. Kids had been in the room, but they were off at PE. So I had a few minutes. I called home to see how it was going. So I'm FaceTimed. My classroom door is open. And Mom plays this prank on Kevin. And Kevin's yelling, "What the fuck, fun?" I'm like, stop yelling. There was nobody around me, but still, like, anybody could have walked in at any minute.
Well, I don't panic often, but when I'm sitting there waiting to see if this is going to leak or not, And she's like yelling at me that it's leaking. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, looking for it. And it wasn't. She's just messing with me.
His favorite thing to do, and he hasn't done this in a while, will be like if we're in the car and you say to Kevin, am I clear in that direction? And he'll say yes. And then as soon as you start moving the car, he'll go, oh, wait.
That's an Arthur Rose classic. My dad used to do that to me when I was learning to drive.
Yeah, that's
He'd be like, is anything coming? And like, no, wait. And then there's a car down in Franklin, like, wait, 2 counties over. Like, thanks, Pop. Appreciate that.
Because if you start rolling the car, then you're like slamming the brakes.
Yeah. He loved to do that. That was, he loved to prank like that. Is anything coming? The Lord.
This is why Kevin doesn't
like
have
that.
Stress, because he doesn't take very many things 100% seriously.
Yeah. Learned that from both my parents. But yeah, that's that. There's a lot to that. Yeah. So
I have had a week filled with very restless sleep.
Yeah.
I would call it stress during the day that I can manage because usually I'm distracted or busy with other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then at night when I go to sleep is when my anxiety will start to kick in.
Yeah.
Or if I'm just idle and not really there, I don't have anything I'm thinking about, then my brain will start. And this week it's just been a combination of things. Mostly, usually I like to say, and I don't even know if this is a real thing, but I have health-related anxiety.
Yeah.
So most of my anxiety will spin up as a result of some health issue, no matter how big or small it is. And that's pretty much what happened this week. I think that's what set it in motion. But school is going well. We've got a new person on our grade level. And so our classroom sizes got more manageable. The first couple weeks were tough. Just having so many kids. To me, it felt like a lot, even though I've had more kids than that before.
Well, because you have the added stress of you got to keep the kids so far apart. There's all these mitigations,
and they can't be close together. And so, and then the quarantine
still
status.
Returned to normal yet.
We're nowhere near normal.
Yeah.
And what we're dealing with now is kids that are out on extended quarantine. Because maybe a family member tested positive and they can't come to school for a certain period of time. Usually it's 10 days since I don't even know what the formula is.
Yeah.
So now I haven't had a full class yet since we rearranged them. Because there have been kids out on some sort of health-related quarantine. Mm. And then that gets me going, it's like, and thankfully I haven't been personally affected by it, but like you see it, and it's not just my school. It's like schools all over the city. And I'm sure schools all over the country right now are having the same issue. It's hard as a teacher to manage prepping for my kids every day. And then also making sure my kids that are at home for extended amount of time are receiving some sort of instruction.
Yeah.
And they're all on different schedules. They're out and in at different times, and it just becomes a lot to manage.
Yeah.
So that kind of triggered me at the beginning of the week. And then it became every little, like, I have an earache, I have a headache, I have a little bit of a sore throat, but by the next morning, I'm fine. Yeah. It's just because I'm talking a lot more and a lot louder, and through a mask. I went through this last year too. And then you think, God, am I overlooking it because I'm just excusing it as that? It's just, and I will whip myself up into such an anxiety state at night that I'm convinced I need to go to the ER.
Or that she's got
or that I've got cancer, or I've got COVID, or and then I just can't sleep.
Which, for you folks that don't know, she has got the kick-ass grade A immune system. Like she's been exposed to everything that the petri dish.
I had mono and didn't even know I had mono.
Yeah, you've got you've been living through the petri dish that is kindergarten, elementary schools, and don't hardly ever get sick at all.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the gallbladder stuff, that's really the top tier.
Well, I mean, I've got reflux issues and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
But nothing like as far as, I mean, the worst you've ever gotten is a little bit of a cold that didn't even keep you from going into school.
Yeah. I mean, I don't catch things from people.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, my family has a high cancer rate. Like there's a lot of cancer on my dad's side of the family. And so I'm constantly convinced. I'm just waiting for the day that that's going to happen. And so,
and the Google doesn't help with that, or whatever, is it MedMD or whatever it is.
For a long time I quit doing that.
Yeah.
I just recently this week started Googling symptoms again. And you really need to not do that.
Because anything you put in there, Google, well, what should I do with a broken leg? Well, you've got cancer. Your leg's broken because
if my leg was broken, that would be a pretty clear indication.
Well, that's still, everything leads to cancer when you look for it online.
Yeah.
I got the sniffles. Well, you got nose cancer. Oh, my eyebrows are a little too bushy. What do I do? Well, you got eyebrow cancer. So you can't. I don't. I'm totally anti-Googling that shit because it's always going to lead to the worst possible shit.
And I just want to know, or these symptoms of something.
Yeah.
That I shouldn't be ignoring.
But apparently cancer is such a broad thing that anything is, if you do this enough.
I've gotten to the point where I can at least say, okay, I know it's not that because, it's just, I can't, it's irrational. I know it's irrational. I get up in the morning and I go to work and I'm fine all day long. I don't have any troubles. If I'm busy and distracted, it's at night when I have nothing else to think about. And Tilly doesn't help because she consistently will wake me up.
Tilly. She's down there.
She's right at my feet all the time, like right now.
She's at our feet right now.
And at night. So like to even move, I have to wake up a little bit to make sure that I'm not like disturbing her in any way, and then my brain will start again. So it's been a long week for me in that regard, just not getting a lot of sleep. I slept till 11 o'clock yesterday morning though.
Yeah. Well, what will happen is I'll get up to go to work. I've always gotten up early anyway, so I usually get up about 5 o'clock, and then Tilly will come trotting out after me most of the time. And then I'll go to work, which is right over here, like right there, and
like 2 steps.
Yeah, so she'll come in where she's at right now, and nap until Kelly gets up, and that's it. But yesterday you didn't get up till, your mom and dad were already up.
I know. I got up at 7:30 and went to the bathroom, and then went back in and fell asleep. And then I woke up and I asked Alexa what time it was, and she said 11:30. And I was like, what?
It's 4:47 p.m.
Yeah, right now it's 4:47 p.m. So I don't know, that is catching up on sleep, basically.
Yeah.
The other parts of school have been good. Like
you've had some interesting kids.
Yeah, and it's not problems with the students or their, lesson planning or any of that. Mm-hmm. Normal teacher stuff has been going fine. It's just this other layer of health concern that I have for myself and all the people I work with and the students that I have. And everybody does have it. And it's, it's a lot. I don't want to in any way say that, I'm alone in worrying about working with COVID, because I'm definitely not. So I don't know. I just got to figure out a way to sleep at night. Right now it's looking like melatonin, the big melatonin that's going to make it hard for me to wake up fully in the morning for a little while.
Yeah, she sent me to Walgreens to look for something called Beauty.
It's called, a friend of mine at school told me about it. It's called Gorgeous Sleep. It's by Nature's Bounty. It's melatonin and collagen in a gummy.
Yeah. And
the first night, I think it did help. Well, I slept until 11.
Yeah.
Last night, it did not really help at all. I was still tossing and turning. Well, we have melatonin that's like a 10 milligram melatonin that will knock me out, but then I have a hard time getting up. Yeah. So I don't like to take it when I have to get up early in the morning. But
yeah.
I don't know.
The tonin is no joke.
It is what it is. I thankfully don't have like full-blown panic attacks, in the middle of the day and things like that. I have had a panic attack once, but like most of my anxiety is inside, and people probably don't even realize it.
Yeah.
But it's just, it stinks.
Yeah, baby.
It does. But I mean, it's better than last year.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, last year you had so much uncertainty, and there's not a whole lot more certainty now, but it is a lot better than it was. Because last year it was any given week that they were going to shut it all down again, and you're going to be virtual.
well,
or,
I mean, there's still a lot of people that are thinking that if things don't start getting better and continue to get worse, we're going to have a problem, because if enough staff people are sick or in quarantine, not even sick, but like just having to be quarantined, you can't cover that many people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we've reached the peak. I've heard that our numbers at the beach have been going down a little bit. So
yeah.
It's just, I'm ready to have normalcy again. I'm ready to like not be worried about,
I don't know,
giving a kid a hug if they need it. That sucks to have to worry about that. And I give the hug anyway, whether I should or shouldn't. I can't not do it. But it's in my head, like, oh, I probably shouldn't have them sitting this close together for this long a period of time. And, and then they're just little kids. And so they're just learning about wearing the mask all the time. And it's hard for them.
Yeah. Most of our school budget this year has gone to masks.
Oh my God. I've been through more paper masks for kids this school year. We've been in school 12 days than I did all of last year when we were face to face.
Yeah.
For some reason, well, in the fall last year, we were virtual until October. But I don't know. It's that
we really haven't spent money on much of anything else this year for school. It's kind of weird. Where you're spending we usually spend about $400 a year on average for your classroom, but most of that this year has been with just the mask. The rest of the stuff that you normally get has been, we haven't had to get.
What about I've spent some money.
I guess I didn't know about the money.
Probably not $400, but the mask thing, I bought, a box of 50 or 100, but I usually have to give 3 or 4 out a day just because they're wet or they sneeze into them and then they use it as a tissue, or they're chewing on the inside, or they snap the, So yeah, that's our big thing. But anyway, so you are lucky you have no kinds of anxiety.
Not really. I mean, we'll talk about it in our top 5. There's some things that kind of give me a little bit of stress. But I mean, I've always, and it has to do with the way I grew up. I mean, you have a lot more in the way of structure. You guys have a plan. You guys, plan out weeks in advance. We never really worked off of a plan per se. Kind of just made shit up as we go along, and I'm real good at that. I mean, making shit up as we go along, doing it on the fly. That's my wheelhouse. I'm good at it. I've always been good at it. Something pops up, I don't panic. I just deal with it. And whatever. It's just something it's ingrained into me. That's why we work so well together, because she will plan things out. And if something goes wrong, I got it. It works.
No, I really think that it's the fact that I can stress out over a lot of things and you just don't let it bother you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get, my Irish temper will flare.
Yeah.
If things aren't working out the way I planned for them to. Really, and that just happens at home. Like, I'm not like that at work at all.
You have a lot more freedom with that.
I have patience for days, obviously with my students, but like even in the school environment, like I can generally put up with a lot before I ever say anything, but I'm not like that at home. Mm-hmm. Not to Kevin anyway.
Yeah, it's all right. But like I said, I can take it, so it's not a big deal.
One of these days he's going to get so tired of it.
Yeah. Because there's so much better stuff involved too. For every downside, there's 50 good upsides. So
Yeah, and here's something that's helping me a lot is the change in the weather this weekend.
Yeah. I will say that the joy you expressed the other day, we opened up the garage door the second she stepped outside, and it was probably
It was like
maybe in
upper 60s.
yeah, not even the upper 60s, about mid 60s, and she was just right as rain.
There was a cool breeze, there was no humidity, and I was literally like, oh my gosh, like this just makes me happy.
Yeah.
And this whole weekend has been like that, just beautiful.
Yeah.
No humidity. I am so ready for the humidity to be gone. I can't stand it.
Yeah, I meant to bust open the windows today, or open the windows. I'm not going to bust them. That's crazy.
We can't afford to bust open all the windows.
Especially after buying
we have a farm. It's not really a farm. It's like a hunt club. And they do pumpkins and, all that kind of stuff. They're like
more of a venue than anything else.
Yeah.
But they do a
Halloween show they've started because I heard them last night. But the woods, like where my house is, there's woods like on the side. And in the woods butts up to their property at the hunt club. And
they're doing the Halloween show.
So at night, every night in October, this is what you hear, the chainsaws and the screaming, and as it gets cooler at night, the smoke drifts into the neighborhood and it gets real eerie. It's literally my favorite time, even though I hate the like scary experiences. I'm not a haunted house kind of person, but I love that sound. It's like a soundtrack of Halloween. It's fall coming.
We'll have to do a show where I talk about the Halloween shows.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of been my jam on and off for the last 20 years.
Maybe we can get you in a costume.
That's not going to happen.
For Halloween extravaganza.
I'm the boom operator. We'll have pictures show up with some of the stuff that we've done from those shows. But
you were in costume in some of those shows.
Yes, I was. But I was always better off being a boom operator behind the scenes. A few times I was in front of the crowd. Most of it was not in any type of costume. The first time I did it, I wasn't in costume. I got quite a few stories from that.
Don't tell all the stories because we'll do a Halloween
show. But that's coming, folks. Stay tuned. But the next door, that is like gold to me. I go out with Tilly to take her outside, and I'm just hearing them with the screaming and the occasional chainsaw, and it's like that's the sound of Halloween, and it's awesome.
Anybody who moves into our neighborhood and doesn't know that's going on over there, I wonder what they think like around the end of September when the first night they hear that going on.
And then they start cooking a lot more too, so you'll start getting smells from you start getting carnival food smell, and sometimes they'll do like
sometimes you get peacocks.
Yeah.
Remember the year the peacocks
flew over
there was
here?
We had like 4 peacocks.
No, there was like a dozen of them. And they jumped on your mom's car for some reason.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, I don't know. Our week, it's been a long week.
But we got some good stuff out of it. We got the washing machines all hooked up.
Got my laundry done in one day.
Done. We hung out with Robin and Troy.
Had a
really nice dinner with them. We went to Cooper's Hawk, and you folks local go there. It's just nothing but good food. I had the braised short rib risotto, which was great, but there was a lot of it, so we took it home the next day. It's next day good. That's when something's good. When it's next day good, that's the deal right there.
Yeah. I had the chicken sandwich, which was not as good as the first time I had it.
Yeah.
So I think next time I go in, I'm going to try something different.
Yeah.
But the wine was delicious.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
Yeah, I got a little sip of it. It was nice.
So we did have that. That was nice on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, just getting around to getting the summer out of here and
getting ready for fall.
Starting to think about Christmas.
Yeah. We got to do our closet. We got to do the switch over, which is a little bit more for you. Yeah. Than it is for me because I pretty much wear the same. Well, I guess I got to switch shorts out for jeans.
We were folding clothes last night, and his stack of t-shirts is pretty much what he wears all the time.
Well, you got me a bunch of t-shirts over the summer, so
I know. All right, so we don't have a lot more to talk about.
Nope.
So our segment this week is going to be the top 5 things that cause us stress. So that should be interesting.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that, and we'll be right back.
All right. And we're back.
We're back with our top 5. We haven't done a top 5 in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, I just hit the microphone, so hoping our mic didn't go out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still blinking. So
okay.
Right.
Let me get out of there. Yeah, we haven't done a top 5 in a long time. We ran out of
trying to mix it up,
ideas.
But to go with the theme today, we're doing the top 5 things that stress us out.
Yep.
Which, my very nature makes this a little bit more difficult for me than it does you. But
didn't take me long to come up with my 5.
I came up with some stuff. We start with number 5.
We're starting with number 5.
All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
I started with job stress. Working in the call center, if you get a chance, pass. Call center life, it changes constantly, and the way they do things change. And we've got some things coming up where one of the main softwares that we use is just because they don't, the company that makes it or supports it is no longer going to be supporting it. So we're not going to be using it any longer. So we're having to come up with a different way to do the main portion of our job. And there's a little stress involved with that because now I'm having to find new ways to do what I do on the daily. And since it's not really fully implemented yet, there's not really a way to kind of, ease into it. So it's like much with most things with call center life, you just dive into it and hope for the best. So there's a bit of stress involved with that. It's not my first rodeo, so I've kind of gone through that before. When I was at Canon, they did a huge switch over to something like that. It was one of the most stressful days of my life was when they went live with that. And my job that day was because I was involved with the implementation, anybody that threw a flag up in the air, I was supposed to go to them and help them with whatever problem they had. And there were flags all over the place. They had 5 of us out there, but it was just crazy, just helping people figure out how to use this new software. And I was there like 12 hours. And to the point where, they can't pay you after 12 hours. That's the way their system worked. And as I was leaving, somebody was like desperately needing help, and they asked me, "You mind helping them out?" And I'm like, "I'm not even getting paid anymore." So I helped that guy out, and it was just, it was one of the most stressful days of my life. But it was just don't work at a call center. Don't do it for 20 some odd years or better. It's just not healthy.
And don't work as a teacher if you don't want to have to do work you don't get paid for.
Yeah, true that. All right, you're number 5.
Probably most of my work I'm doing on time I don't get paid for. My number 5 is not having a plan. Yeah. That causes me great stress when I don't have a plan. So, like, if we're going to go to dinner and it's at a restaurant I've never been to before, I get a lot of stress over that. Or if, we're going to go wherever and it's just kind of, we'll roll out of here whenever we want to roll out of here. We don't really have any kind of time frame.
We don't have the secret word set up.
Yeah. I need a plan. I remember when I was having gallbladder problems, I woke up one morning and I thought I was having a heart attack. Remember that morning?
I do.
And so we went to the emergency room and they did the blood work and that came back fine. And then they were like, yeah, there's no way. So they kept me for 4 hours and they were going to do repeat blood work and a stress test. And so we waited the 4 hours. They did the blood work. It came back fine the second time, but they were like, you have to have the stress test, which took hours, remember? Well, I've never had a stress test before. I didn't know what all was involved in it, and that was stressing me out more than anything. I'm like, if you want to know how stressed I am, just keep not giving me information about when I'm going to get in to get. And so when the woman finally came, like, she literally gave me every detail ahead of time to know exactly what to expect when I went in there. And that immediately just, okay, now I kind of know what's going to happen when I get in there. I don't like not knowing what's coming up. Mm-hmm. That's one of my big, it's pretty opposite of Kevin. Kevin doesn't work off a plan. Kevin is very much, he's spontaneous and let's just do this or
throw
go
shit at the wall
there.
and see what sticks.
Yeah. And I probably cause him stress with my need to have a plan as much as he causes me stress with his,
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, let's just do it. So anyway, there's that. That's my number 5.
All right, my number 4. Going back to the job thing, but there are days where we are just back to back with calls from customers, and I want to help people out. I really do, but sometimes it just makes for a very stressful day when there's days where it's just back to back and everybody's not with it. They're angry, and you get 50 angry calls in a row with people blaming you for their problem, which in the grand scale of things,
posting on Facebook how much it sucks.
Yeah. It's like, okay, and they're, like it's my individual fault. And, it's like, okay. And obviously I'm trying to be helpful, but cards on the table, there's just going to be times where there's not really a whole lot that can be done to meet your satisfaction. Cause obviously you want your stuff working at that moment. And it's not going to happen like that. It's just not.
And I have news. It's not going to happen with any company that you're...
Right.
I mean, it isn't one company over another. It happens with everybody.
So it just
chill out,
it does
people.
Make for a stressful day.
Realize the person trying to help you on the phone really wants to help you because he doesn't want to listen to you screaming at him on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't work for a call center. It's just not. Don't. It takes just a special breed of insanity to be able to do that.
And now that I think about it, Kevin, I did work in a call center one time.
Yeah?
I worked in a call center for Lillian Vernon.
Really?
I did.
Wow.
I took orders. That was before you could get online. People had to call the catalog and place an order. I hated it.
Don't do it, folks. Don't tell your kids to do it. Do it for a short time just so that you can say you were taking a beating. So...
All right, my number 4, crowds. Crowds cause me huge stress.
Yeah.
I do not like crowds. I do not feel like I don't like the feeling I can't get out of a place if I need to. I don't really enjoy movie theaters that much. I don't go to concerts because of that reason. I'm just not a crowds person.
The movie theater thing's gotten a little better because they, especially across the street,
since they started, you reserve your seat.
Yeah.
That has helped.
And the seats are so much bigger and wider.
The aisles are wider. It's not even just a seat, but I can walk past people without having to crawl over top of them.
So the theater across the street does a lot to help with that.
Remember the time we were in that theater and the theater was like 3/4 of the way empty, and that young kid came and sat in the seat right next to me.
Yeah.
And dropped his heavy ass book bag and then got up and left. Yeah. That was a traumatic experience for me because I was in my head going, this guy's book bag is going to explode. And it was a political thing we were at. Mm-hmm. Like, this guy's book bag is going to explode. That was terrible. So that's my number 4. I have to take something if I know I'm going to be in crowds.
Well, you did that for the Garth Brooks concert.
I did.
So
and
it worked out. The stress there was getting in and out of there because we were going to Uber, but when the time came, you didn't order the Uber long beforehand, and it got stupid expensive. It was $100.
For me, it wasn't even that. It was, I don't like those seats that are like this and not like an arena.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
this is the heights thing, and
Richmond. What was it, Richmond? Wasn't it?
Yeah, but any arena, it's the same. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your number 3?
Number 3 for me is me being a freedom-oriented person, watching the news, especially nowadays. That kind of stresses me out. And I worry about things that, when I see stuff and I'm like, that's a violation of the Fourth Amendment or the Second Amendment or the First Amendment. That's obviously a First Amendment violation. That kind of thing. And I get a little stressed from that. When I see something, I'm like, this is going to lead to this, and I'm right. That stresses me out, They're like when I see that they're spending like trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars, and I know that that's going to cause inflation. Which guess what, folks? We've got inflation, tons of it. There's tons more coming, and it stresses me out because there's not an easy way to get pulled back from that. So that's just going to be a continued stress. So there's that.
Yeah. That's why I quit. I try to quit watching.
Yeah, we used to have the news on here all the time. Now it's just like, no.
I can't.
Now we watch the Murder Channel, and Mom's on a Netflix kick, which God knows what they have on there. She was watching the Unabomber earlier, and I guess she got done with that, and now it's some weird...
We need to get Hulu.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more... I don't know. We've already got the Paramount Plus. We might as well drop because
we need to drop Paramount, but we never even, not one time, watched.
Yeah. So, well, we got to do Big Brother feeds, but the Big Brother feeds have just not been great.
Every time we would watch, they would be like turned off for some reason. So
yeah.
Anyway, so you ready?
Yep.
Was that your number?
That was my number 3.
My number 3 is noise. Noise stresses me out.
Yeah.
Excessive noise. I don't like lots of competing noise. Sometimes, because I think it's because at work, it's noise pretty much all day. I'm dealing with like millions of different things coming at me all day long, that when I come home, I just need it kind of quiet and calm, and it's really never that way. But sometimes I'm just overstimulated by noise. Yeah. That causes me a lot of stress.
I get it.
You hear about it too.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I don't.
No.
I
she does not do that.
That's
a joke. That is a joke.
Never. Not even as a joke.
Okay.
I will say I'm just going to go, like, I need 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And when I do that, I'll turn the TV off or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there are even times when the boys don't help.
Yeah.
That's an odd time, but yeah.
There are times when I just want nothing. I want... Yeah.
My number 2 is money. Everybody stresses about money because everybody needs it. There's not enough out there. We recently had to do this big purchase for the wash machine. Now, luckily, we're not, we've been in times in our life where we've been a lot more strapped for cash. It's still, no one's got, where they're just dropping money for a washer at any given time. But luckily, we weren't, it didn't destitute us for the weeks. But it's still a stress, You always stress about it. You always think about, well, if we had the extra money, this is what we would do. If we had the extra money, we would have got both the washer and the dryer. Or if we had really the extra money, we'd redo that whole room.
We've been talking about that a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know when we're going to have that kind of money, but...
If anyone knows a good plumber / contractor that can do that kind of work.
Wants to work pro bono just to rearrange our laundry. Just in lieu of some
Cash App tips and GoFundMes, just send a guy our way that'll work for free. That'd be great.
When you walk into our laundry room, you open the door and our laundry is right on the left side wall. Mm-hmm. And what we really need is it to be on the far wall.
Yeah. I'd even forego the sink and the bath.
I mean, we have a sink and a toilet in there. I'd be happy to pull those out of there.
Yeah. Sink would be helpful, but not we could deal with one less toilet in the house.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. But, send somebody our way, people. Don't even comment. Just send the guy our way. I'm here to do your bathroom.
I'm here just to redesign. I'm just going to move some water and some venting. From one wall to another. That's
maybe really pull those cabinets down and then put in a unit storage. Like
we could took the toilet out if we put a storage unit right there.
Yeah,
we have to cap the floor.
Yeah,
and there's tile, so I don't know how we would do that. But anyway,
yeah.
Again, all above my pay grade. So,
but yeah, that's the stress. I mean, everybody's got money stress. I don't care who you are. Bill Gates has got money stress.
Not you're either stressed because you don't have money, or you're stressed because you have so much money that. Everybody's coming after you for money
yeah.
I would love to have stress that I have too much money though. I would love the experience of that.
Yeah.
My number 2 is clutter. And which is kind of funny because I am a very I cause mainly all the clutter. But after a while I can't relax if there's too much clutter, which is why like when we're done recording this today, we're actually gonna, I don't know, what time is it coming up on? Oh, it's 5. I'm not sure if we're gonna get to that today. But we need to clean out our closet because it's mainly all my clothes in there. Probably is all my clothes in there.
In the closet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All mine, except your jeans are in there.
My jeans are in there in the little cabinet thing, but
it's just, there's so much, and it's stuff I don't ever use, and it's just, we don't have a ton of space. I need a big, huge walk-in closet. And we don't have a day off together. So we don't ever get these little things done, and I'm not about doing it by myself. I mean, I'll just be honest.
We could be doing it now, but we're here for you folks.
I didn't realize it was so late.
Yeah. So I got to start dinner here shortly. I'm going to make some country fried steak.
Okay.
That's that was my number 2. Dance.
What's your number 1?
My number 1 is our health. That stresses me out a bit. I mean, I got the diabetes, and I got a doctor's appointment not this Wednesday, but the next Wednesday. And I have not been a great patient. I got to, take my blood. I don't take my blood like I should. I try to be a good boy, but, it's pandemic living, I guess. Anyway, all throughout our history, we've had, scares and whatnot. And it stresses me out when we have these things. Your gallbladder thing the night that you were talking about, one of the few times I've ever lost my shit is when we went to the hospital. You were in a lot of pain.
I was having kidney stones.
You were having kidney stones, but we were in there and they had you in a room, but they weren't coming. We were there for a couple of hours and they hadn't popped a head in the room or nothing. And finally I went out and hunted somebody down. I was like, somebody needs to get in there. She's in a lot of pain. And, basically probably scared the little girl to death that, here's this huge gorilla man, in her face.
I think they did just forget about us.
And then they came in and this thing started rocking and rolling. I was like, I was so unbelievably mad that, so that kind of stuff stressed me out, particularly when it's you, because, I can, deal with whatever happens to me. It's not a big deal. But
I don't know. The time you fell out from food poisoning.
Yeah, that was a bad night.
It was the worst night of my life. So,
yeah. So that kind of thing, that's the worst stress that you can have because there's all kinds of unknowns. The night that, a couple of times I thought where I was like, oh shit, I'm going to die. That was one of those nights. And then I felt better. The time that I had just gotten on some medication. And what was it, like a Wednesday, I started having problems I had this bad chest pain. And honestly, everybody thought I was having a heart attack.
Well,
so we went to First Colonial.
It's the first thing. Obviously, when you're having chest pain, that's what people think. But when you're overweight, people assume that's what it is.
So we went to First Colonial, and Joan says, I don't know what's going on. We're going to call the hospital and get you out that way, which was kind of fun because First Colonial is not a huge place, so they had to drag this gurney through and get Fat Boy on it and get him through this maze that they had there.
Just let you walk through the hallway. It wasn't
especially
like you were.
First Colonial is right next to the hospital. I could have walked to the hospital
faster than the ambulance got you there.
Yeah, actually. Because I was in there for 20 minutes for them to try to put needles in my arm, and they couldn't do it. So 20 minutes sitting in there, and then 5 minutes to get me to the emergency room. And then they were, that was kind of a stressful moment. They were like, okay, well, what do we do? And it took 10 needles for them to get me?
Yeah, they were about to go through like a femoral through your groin for it.
I was like, no.
Well, when you're stressed out, it's harder anyway. And you were probably dehydrated, but it turned out to be just medication, right?
No, it was heartburn.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, because they did all the tests and they were like, no, you've got zero.
They
look for heart damage in your blood.
You have less heart breakdown in your tissue breakdown in your blood than the average person.
Turns out they literally said you're the healthiest fat boy alive.
I'm like, please don't tell me.
I was like,
but yeah, heartburn. That'll do it.
Yeah.
That's,
they had to do a chemical stress test on me.
Oh,
And I didn't know what that was all about. And I honestly thought that was when I thought I was going to die. Because they put the idea is they put you, if they feel like they can't have you walk the treadmill or whatever, they'll do a chemical one where they pump you full of, I guess, adrenaline, and then like do all the stress testing stuff. Well, they did that to me, and I thought I was going to die.
See, that scares me that you're not in control of your heart. Like if you're on a treadmill and your heart's pounding, you know why it's pounding because you're on the treadmill, but
oh my God.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh man, these people screwed up and I'm going to die.
See, I did the stress test on the treadmill.
Yeah, they didn't want to do it for me for whatever reason. They thought I guess they were scared I was going to fall out.
They had all that blood work back saying that my heart was fine by the time I got to it.
They had blood work for me and said I was fine. So,
heartburn can be tricky.
Yeah.
It took me a few years to learn the symptoms of my reflux. Because I don't have typical reflux symptoms like the heartburn and stuff. I don't get that. But when I first started having all that trouble, I was like, oh my God, my heart's, now I know what it is. And so when it happens, I can I'm like, oh, I forgot to take my medication before dinner or whatever. That doesn't stress me out now as much as it used to because I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my number one too. Health. It's funny that none of my 5 top were job related.
No, because
I don't really.
I mean,
school doesn't, other than the
kids don't
the
bother
COVID
you.
stuff going on right now. School doesn't really stress me out.
Your job is different than my job, though. Your job is more. First of all, it's one of the like professions that everybody has great deal of respect for from when you're younger. So when you're younger, you want to be a fireman, you want to be a policeman, you want to be a teacher, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer. No one says I want to be a plumber or I want to be a HVAC person or I want to be a whatever. I don't want to work in a call center, or in IT. They don't think about that because it's not one of the respected professions. And I
don't think it's that. I think that it's not a seen profession. Like if you look at a 6-year-old, they don't know what plumbers do. They've not experienced, all of call center. They have no clue.
Yeah.
But they see firemen, they see policemen, they see teachers. So it's not that it's not respected. It's just not a seen.
You folks know what I'm talking about. And it's more of a calling profession. You know what I mean? Not everybody wants to be a teacher because they don't feel the tug to be a teacher. But, you did. And my buddy Richard did. My buddy Richard spent most of his life doing workaday. He was in call centers and he was working in a shipping place. And now he's happy being a teacher.
The problem I have with saying it's a calling is that leaves a lot of room for, oh, well, you were called to do this.
Yeah.
Because you love children. So therefore, they can keep paying us less and giving us less because, oh, well, you're here for the kids. And you're going to do it for the kids, which teachers do because that's what teachers do. But I feel like in the last 5 years
they take advantage
and this is even before COVID.
That's one of the things that the system takes advantage of.
More and more gets put on our plate because they know it's a predominantly female field.
Mm-hmm.
And we're there, especially in elementary, for the kids.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they keep giving you more and you keep doing it. So It is a calling, but that doesn't mean that people who teach couldn't do a million other things.
No, of course not. I mean,
and lots of them are. I will tell you that people are leaving teaching in droves right now.
I'm certain that you could do work downtown. I'm certain that you could do work in some of these curriculum-based.
I could do it. I don't. I am there for the kids.
Yes. 100%. And I that's what I'm saying. I get that. I think most of our audience gets that. But you're right. Society as a whole, who doesn't understand would be like, oh, well, they're just doing it because they love the kids and then blah, blah, blah. So we can get away with not paying them very well. But I mean, that's bullshit. That's
I did have a teacher say to me one time, a teacher that worked in my building, that, oh, kindergarten, I want to go to kindergarten. We could just sing in color all day. So even within, like, among educators, I think people get kind of tunnel vision on their particular job, and they look at other people's jobs as being easier, or that person has more time, or
well, the grass is always
they have
greener.
less responsibilities.
Yeah, the grass is always greener.
Acknowledge that everybody's got their plates full. You just don't always see it.
Shitty.
Some of us go and we smile and we're pleasant and we cry in the car on the way home.
Well, I will say that from what you've experienced, when you started working in kindergarten, I was like shocked by the stuff that you do and what the kids do. And the thing that shocked me most was the fact that you don't take naps. I honestly, and this probably comes from people's memory of kindergarten. They had those little 4 fold-up mats that they throw on the ground, and they'd sleep for whoever knows how long. It was probably wasn't even all that long, but you laid down and took a nap. That was the best. I'd love to have that, where they just said, "Oh, you can, you got 15 minutes to take a nap." Hell to the fucking yeah!
I don't remember taking naps in kindergarten, but I only went for half a day.
All right, comment everybody. If you took a nap at kindergarten, you comment in the comments. Just say,
Some of my kids take naps.
Well, yeah, but there was a time set aside for taking naps. I promise you, it was a thing. And
not
I think
anymore.
People, yeah,
we don't even have time set aside to go to the bathroom anymore.
Because you're doing actual work. Your kids come out, knowing stuff. They're not just. I think one part of the perception that you have is that kindergarten has changed a bit.
Kindergarten is now what first grade used to be.
Yeah,
that is true. And they can do a lot.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we should be always pushing them to do it, because sometimes just letting them explore new things and stepping back and giving the solid foundation is better than,
And talking to them not like little babies, but like.
Oh, that's my biggest pet peeve right there.
Don't baby talk to kids.
Just use your regular grown-up vocabulary. That's how they learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my little girls was walking to class, and she came in a different door. I guess she was dropped off by a parent rather than riding the bus or something. And she wasn't quite sure how to get to the classroom, and so she had another teacher walking with her. And the teacher said, how did your teacher tell you? What did your teacher tell you to look for? Because, we all have different stuff outside on the walls, and you say, oh, well, look for the rainbows or look for the whatevers. And she goes, my literacy expectations. And I said, I did not tell her that. Her mother must have told her that. But it was just so funny. But, I mean, that's a perfect example of they will pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah. This same little one, Mom told me, goes home and plays school every day. And she goes, I've learned all about 1, 2, 3 eyes on me and level 0 talking in the hallway. And she goes, I kind of know what you're doing at school every day, because she comes home and reenacts it.
So she'll probably be a school teacher when she's an adult.
I hope she finds something more. I mean, I don't know. I love teaching. I could never see myself doing anything else.
Yeah.
I need to be in with the kids, because that's where the fun is. Most of the time. Like the kid who said, have you ever heard of McDonald Duck? Funny.
That's good stuff.
All right. So our TikTok video of the week this week.
It's kind of a stress reliever. These are Kelly's stress relievers.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one we're going with, but I'll see it when we see it. Because we looked at a few different ones, and now I can't remember which one was the one we decided to do. But I will see it when you see it. So we will see you guys next week, October 1st, next weekend, the first weekend in October. So we will see you guys then. Have a great week.
The Halloween episode coming up.
Yeah, when it gets closer to Halloween, give me a little time on that.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Have a good week.
Bye, everybody.
out. Turns out we have a secret weapon, an immigrant. You know in love who's unafraid to step in. He's constantly confusing, confounding the British henchmen. Everyone give it up for America's favorite fighting Frenchman.
I'm taking this horse, battle rains, wicked red coats, weather with blood stains. And I'm never gonna stop until I make them drop a random up and scatter the remains down. Watch me engaging them, escaping them, and raising them out. I go to France for more fun. I come back with more guns and chips, and so their balance shifts.